All right. Here we go. You can kind of see my messy desk. Oh, hello. Good evening. Beautiful, weird day it was today. I went to go for a walk here in Ottawa, and it was kind of damp and humid, and they had all the little bugs around me, and so I quickly went back inside. Welcome, and thank you for joining me this evening. I'm Shannon, and this is Paper Delights, and I come on every evening at 7 o'clock, Monday to Friday, to inspire you and to motivate you to create a little space for yourself and do what you love. The pandemic has been really stressful on everybody, and for me, being in my craft room, coloring, gluing, cutting paper, all that stuff has been so incredibly helpful. So today is Throwback Thursday, but first I wanted to do a few commercials, one being the open house that's coming up this weekend. It will be a physically distanced event. From 10 till 2, there will be tables set up outside. And hi, Pam. And I've got some beautiful crafts. I was busy crafting today. Look what I made. Aren't those pretty? So there's going to be lots of really nice crafts that will be available. So the other thing, oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to see you. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys about was we're coming to the end of the month, and so if ever you were interested in being a demonstrator or getting the 20% off, this is a great time to join. You could get that new Big Shot, or get a Big Shot if you don't have one, and you get these great additional things. Not only do you get $65 worth of product for $165 for $135, but you also get the 2 card packs, 2 stamp sets, and some gems. And you get to be part of an amazing team. So after my cards tonight, once a month, we get together, and my upline is fantastic. She's lending me some bats, and then she added the sparkle paper as a little treat. And we're going to meet afterwards and put all these things together and have a Zoom meeting and laugh and do crafting. And it's such a lovely, lovely bunch of ladies. Most of the ladies that are part of the team do this as a hobby. And so we have so much fun, and there's no pressure. It's just people that like to get together and do crafts. So if you're interested in joining the team, the Pinery team, please send me a message, and be happy to tell you more about it. So the other thing I wanted to remind you about is that this is the last week for the card buffet. So you pick any 4 of the designs, and then you make 2 of each cards. So this is the last week for the buffet, and then that'll be the end of that, and then I'll put something else together. So next month might be a little different, because next month is October, and it's breast cancer awareness. And being a breast cancer survivor, depends, everyone says something different. My card making classes, the take-home kits, will be very different. I'm gonna put together a kit, and some of the proceeds will go to breast cancer research. So they'll be different. The card buffet will be different. So last week for the card buffet. And if you place an order this month, I'll have to check to see if any orders, if you guys got in on any of those 15% off stamp sets. I have to check and see. And if you did, then you will also be receiving this 6x6 designer series paper that's retired, but you can make some of those really nice cards with it. So there's my commercials for tonight. So Pam, these are from your place. Thank you very much. So for Throwback Thursday, I thought I would try these, and I had been waiting on it because I was waiting to get the white pigment ink so I could make some cool cards with it. And then I also just received the pigment sprinkles, and oh, it's so much fun. So these are the sets that we are playing with tonight, and wait until you see Pam, you're gonna be so excited. So this is the first one that we are going to make tonight. So, so for this one, I used 3 different stamp sets. So we're going to use the star from the Stargazing, the silhouette from the Silhouette Scenes, and the pine tree from In the Pines. And I love, my favorite thing about camping is when you go out and you can look up and you see all the stars. So my idea in this card was that this is sort of like the water down here, and she's sort of standing on a sandy beach, and then you've got some pine trees and she's looking up at the stars. So that was my inspiration for this card. So I'm going to show you how I made it. I need my scrap piece of paper to go underneath. So for this one, I'm using Pacific Point. That's the blue that I have. You can use whatever blue you have. And when I first looked at the stamp, I was like, how is this going to be? But as you can see, it's really sharp. So you could stamp it off a bit first if you wanted to, and then put it on. And I found with this one, I didn't have to press very hard. If I pressed too hard, in fact, it would squish it down and you wouldn't get the same kind of detail. So for this one, I found the best thing that I could do with it was to press lightly. And so I'm just going around. Sometimes I'm stamping full strength. Sometimes I'm stamping half strength. And then I just need to finish the bottom here. There we go. All right. So there we go. There's our sky. Isn't that cool? So then for the trees and my lovely lady here, I just used black, straight black. And I'm going to put her up a little bit more this time than where she was last time. And this one you do have to press a little bit firmer in order to get a full solid kind of look to it. And even then I went back and used a marker. I'll show you what I did. So then for my pine trees, these are just the little In the Pine, from the little In the Pine set. And I just inked them up and went in a couple of places. So, comme ça. There we go. All right. So then I wanted to have it look like that there was water, right? That I needed to somehow sort of finish it. So I pulled out my Seaside Spray, the dark one, and I sort of colored it in, basically, to make it look like that things were being reflected. As soon as you do that, you kind of, it does give that appearance of water, right? So then I took my green, this is the green I have, and I sort of went in and added a little bit there. Or we could try, this is Crumb Cake, because my green turned yellow with the blue. So I'm going to go in and do a bit of crumb cake instead. There. And then for her, I did go back and do a little bit of crumb cake in some of the places where she wasn't as dark, like if I wanted her to be a bit darker. And then I did crumb cake here where she was standing to sort of make it look like it was like a sandy, beachy area. Comme ça. And then you can just go back with more of the blue just to blend it a bit. That's the great thing about these markers, is that you can really blend them nicely. So there we go. Now, this one I did heat emboss with the white. You could heat emboss with silver if you wanted to. The other thing I thought we would add though this time, I will heat emboss it later. I won't do it now, but I did want you to sort of see how it turned out. The other thing is I've got this, I don't know, I got this at the Dollar Tree. I'm not exactly sure what it's used for. It's got a bigger little ball at the top and a teeny tiny little one at the bottom. I don't know. It was in the craft section at the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure what it's used for, but I'll show you what I use it for. Dab, dab, dab. Dot. Dab, dab, dab. Dot. Random dots, and then it'll glisten and sparkle, so that when you hold it up, it'll have a bit of sparkle to it. I know you can't see it on the screen, but there's a bit of sparkle to it. Could even use some of the bigger ones. Oh yeah, I like that. For the bigger stars, constellations. And it just adds a really pretty shimmer. We could even spray it if we wanted to now that it's dry. You could spray it with the shimmer spray that I've got. I did do that in another card. I'll show you. Anyway, I could keep going, but you get the general idea. So, again, I'm not sure what this tool was supposed to be used for, but that's what I use it for. All right, so that's our first card. Thanks. All right. Hey, Hannah. All right, so that's our first card. Oh, yes, here, let's glue it down. I'm going to wait until it dries a few minutes because I've put on those big dabs. So we'll give it a few minutes to dry and then we'll glue it down. All right, the next card, same idea, but I did it in reverse this time. So I had the dark color paper and I thought of using the white to for the stars. So it has these like stars here in the constellation, and after I did it, it kind of made me think of snowflakes too. But I was thinking you could even do this with heat embossing with white or silver or what have you too. But this one is just using the white ink, and if you don't have white ink, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. So for this one, where are my snowflakes? There they are. So for this one, I think I'm going to ink her up first, because I did learn when I did it this way that the white pigment, yeah, I thought the heat embossing on the blue cardstock would be cool. I did find though with this one that the white pigment did sort of like, I couldn't do a nice solid color when the white pigment was on. You can kind of see like it didn't have the same kind of look. So I thought for this one we would try and ink it first and then do the stars. So for this one, I'm pushing quite hard because I want it fairly like as dark and as full as I can get it. And for this one, I went all the way down. There. Okay. Then we'll take our white pigment. And the white pigment is really fun to play with, I must admit. I've used it on a few different cards. It takes a bit of getting used to because it is different. And this one I learned that I pressed too hard. So that's where I was saying, like, you don't need, with this stamp set, you really don't need to press hard at all. And so I found the lighter I pressed, the better. And it wasn't one that I could really sort of like do over multiple times, and so I kind of had to follow the way, because if I turned it and went a different way, it would overlap and it wouldn't have the same look, I found. So that was just my insight. See, I pressed too hard there. So anyway, it's a bit trickier with the white ink, but I still think it's kind of neat. And then for her on the cliff, so I kind of saw this as her sort of standing on a cliff with the trees down below. So I just used, this is a light smoky slate. And it comes off, when you first color it, it looks really dark, but then it does lighten up. And I just did a little bit extra behind to make it look like a shadow behind. Like that. That looks a little bit better. So. And then the saying, they have these beautiful sayings in there. Never stop stargazing. If you dream it, you can do it. They're all really, really pretty. I didn't, it's a new stamp set, and I didn't want to do all of them, Pam, but they are all so beautiful. I think you'll be very happy when you get it back. You can play around with it. It's lots of fun. There's all sorts of different things on Pinterest. So this one is You Inspire Me. There. Isn't that pretty? Really simple. So pretty. All right, here. We'll tape it down. I think it's safe to glue these ones down now too. So similar, because I love the idea of using the stargazing for the night sky, right? Like you're looking up at the night sky. But then I thought, okay, well, you know, so you've done 2 cards in the night sky. There's not a whole lot of variation you can do with that. Oh, I forgot. I punched out some of these little silver stars. We could even add, what do you think? Should we add some little silver stars? What do we think? Silver stars? No silver stars? Or should we do, oh, we could do, instead of silver stars, we could do, ooh, we could do little, ooh, let's do these. No silver stars. Changed my mind. You could do silver stars though if you wanted to. But I think I should do these instead. Oh yeah, let's do these instead. So pretty. it will be hard to stop at just 3. Okay, I'll do 5. Do an uneven number. Right? 5. There. Oh, still pretty. Oh, I love it. Okay, so the last card was sort of a watercolor pigment kind of idea. So my idea was, it's really sparkly right now because I sprayed it. Again, like with the stars, but I thought, well, what if I could do like a blue background using the pigment sprinkles. So that's sort of what I did here, is that I sprinkled, I'll show you, and then you inspire me for the little stain, and I sprayed it. That's why it's very, very sparkly right now. But I'm going to show you the pigment sprinkles. So much fun. I'll do another card, but I thought I would show you real quick, like just real quick. Shh, real quick. Real quick. Okay, so these are the sprinkles. The bottle will last you a long, long time. And right now they're in the clearance. These are like $40. And I always thought they looked so cool and you can make neat stuff with them, but I wasn't going to pay $40 to be quite honest with you. So when I saw it in the clearance, I jumped all over that. All over that. And it's funny, the color that comes out of the bottle does not look the same as the color that it turns into. So this turns into Bermuda Bay. It comes out looking like that. And then you take your water, where is my water? And you spritz it. Psh, psh. Oh, look at that. It's like magic. And however much water you spritz, or how much ever sprinkles you put on, will be how dark or how light it is, right? So I can blot this off. Now you definitely want to use really good watercolor paper. So I bought some inexpensive watercolor paper because I thought if I'm practicing, I don't want to use my really good watercolor paper from Stampin' Up. Big mistake, because the Stampin' Up paper is substantially better than the one I got. Look how cool that is. And I mean, you can leave it like this, right? Or you can blot up the excess. And then, I know you're thinking, okay, so where are you going with this, Shannon? And then, my idea, and you're seeing this live because I haven't tried it. This could turn out to be awful. We don't know, because often the things in my head never turn out as good as what I think they're gonna be. But we're gonna try. So my paper is still kind of wet, so fingers crossed. Oh, yeah. So my idea was, if I was to do this again though, because my paper's still wet, I would probably do an embossing and do it in a silver on top. So the idea was that this kind of becomes like the black hole-esque kind of look to it. Anyway, you get the general idea. What I did the same kind of spritzing, but I didn't put as much. You can play around with how much and how little. And then when I was done, I sprayed it with my Frost White, and that's why it's so sparkly. And then you inspire me. I just think that's so pretty. So, and we can do, it's really still wet. So anything I put on there is going to kind of, when you work with water ink, right? The water's going to make it kind of go. But anyway, so much fun. So I know I'm kind of all over the place. I must admit, I'm doing fall crafts and trying to get ideas for next month. So, but you get the general idea. So that was my idea. There you go. So let's glue this one down and we'll call it a night. This one's still wet. That is the only thing with the sprinkles, is that everything does get quite wet. So there. You inspire me. That would make a cute little note. Put that in someone's lunch. or in someone's little mailbox at work. I'll put a little piece inside. That'd be cute. So there are our cards for this evening. Quick and dirty. Well, I'm dirty. That would be the other thing, is that usually they recommend if you're using this to have gloves on of some sort, because I do have dye on my fingers because it's powdered, and of course you don't realize you have it on until you get it wet and then you're covered in ink. So there you go. There's our cards for this evening. I will probably play around with this a little bit more, but I do have to return it back to you, Pam, because you know you're going to want to play with it too. So I hope you've had a good evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've been inspired and we've stirred the imagination. And if anything, perhaps we can get out while the air is cool and crisp and the sky is clear, no clouds, and hopefully we can see some stars ourselves. So it'd be interesting to see what this one is like with like a navy blue ink. It might be really cool too. I don't know. It would be worth trying. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. Hopefully I will see some of you on Sunday, and otherwise I will see you tomorrow at 7. So thank you so much. Please like and share, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.